All of praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahashai, Bahashem, Nakaha, Kadash, na Bwana tuzaidi ni apostle of Great Mission who do well and who taught us this 100% truth according to the scripture and according to the collective breakdown. Peace, blessing, and salutation to you, Akim, who are pushing this truth to the four winds of the heaven and be on the forefront of this spiritual war. To make sure Jerusalem is established as a praise here on earth again, as in the days of old, without forgetting you, friend of the prophet, women and children who are listening and learning well, and as a man of the Lord. So it is another quick impromptu going through the algorithm of WW3, with everything which is happening here on earth, and as the Lord moving all the final chess piece to lock this society up, cause what the Lord is doing is he is making things very tight, man. Confounding this two-third and heathen through strange signs. Many prophets are going as a famine of the world, pestilence. Esau is about to unleash all hell on Jackie by him painting Jackie, or Israelite, if you will, as a new face of COVID-19. You see, as he says and goes that don't let a good crisis go to waste. So he is using the coronavirus, aka COVID-19, or the Rona, to bring Jacob trouble, man, to make Jacob uncomfortable. And this is a rebuttal to you people who we are trying to be deep with the melanin, trying to explain, man. You see, you are coming in an angle of you being black and being protected. You see, guess what? Esau was saving you for the last, man. Now everybody is looking you in your new eyes, man. Really should click in your mind to be able to understand the only place you can learn and be shielded and have that hedge of protection is to repent and return to the ways of Yahweh, Hashem, Yahashai, man. See, this heathen can't save you, and the vibration you are pushing about us coming together, coming together with this other nation, and you see, coming together with them so that you can be this coming together with the heathen, Saraki, coming together with the heathen, and living with them in harmony, man. That ain't gonna happen because the Lord is not with that, man. You see, as a coming together spirit, and you people who still hang into that straw of hope, if you really, you are for a rude awakening, man. See, so the Lord will make it clear to you that nobody loves you, man, except him. Here you have as a prophet of the Lord in the street, we are there trying to give you a proper path on how to be protected in these evil days, but you are laughing, man. See, and the days are coming when the prophet will start to laugh back, man. It's a balance, man. The Lord operating is a so-called balance, man. Just wait and balance, man. Just healing, man. You see, a false balance is an abomination. So you laughed for the longest, and the prophet will laugh at you, and the Lord himself will be rejoicing, man. See, when you niggers going to be put to death by every nation here under the planet, man. So in front of me, let's get to the news. Today's news. I know some people, they get tired when we constantly bring news like this, man. See, and today my voice is not coming as always, so it's a lot of that. You see, so people get fed up with this news like WW3 and whatnot. You see, but we have to bring it out. We don't care about your feeling, man. We don't care about your feelings. So this is COVID-19 push US and China caused Cold War. So another paradigm is being drawn from the consequence of from this is the so-called COVID-19, because China is blaming the US that it have unleashed what we call the biological warfare. So to put it simple, the Chinese are telling you the America have already declared a war to them, man. It's like when you go back to WW2, the Pearl Harbor moment, you see. This is a new Pearl Harbor moment, September 11, when the white man kills the devil. You see, he declared the war on ISHMAEL. Pearl Harbor, he declared the war on Yamoni, and this is another Pearl Harbor moment, or September 11, if you will. The white men have declared the war to China, man, because the scripture tells you the king of the East, and the king of the East, it was not mainly talking about China, man. And in a recent time, as the Lord have given China, you see, a very magnificent naval, you see, missiles and whatnot, man. You see, so the China can boost, you see, against America, because they know that they can take down America under the alliance of Russia and ISHMAEL, you see. So really this go back to the Lord bringing that third war, man, because we are in that time, if we really don't know. You see, Saudi Arabia work on a nuclear reactor virus update. So, and Saudi Arabia, as we always tell you, this ISHMAEL nation, every nation over there in the Middle East, at the end of the day, they will possess a nuclear weapon. And to the mind of peoples who don't believe, you see, that was a far-fetched scenario, you see. That was a far-fetched scenario, but it is here right in your face, man. Saudi Arabia, they want to develop a nuclear weapon, man. And the money Saudi Arabia possesses, it won't even take a month, man. Why are they doing this? Because they are Iran, they have the missile, man. See, Iran have the missile. See, Iran have the missile. See, that's why they are doing this, man. See, so everybody will have the missile, man. Hezbollah will have the missile. Hamas will have the missile. You see, and the Houthis, all the labels, man. And what happens if you give a missile ISHMAEL? That's why the dragon of Arabia will come having with us, man. We are approaching that time. If you give a missile to these people from Saudi Arabia, what do you expect? You know how ISHMAEL, man. ISHMAEL is a wild man. If you didn't know, ISHMAEL is a wild man. See, so let's go and dive into this news, and we'll bring few scriptures. Then we'll be out of here.
Welcome back, everyone. It's Dina Calmetta here, and for today's news, we do have a lot to talk about. But I first would like to discuss this report in regards to the United States and China. It is being reported that due to the coronavirus pandemic, an unexpected but potentially fateful twist has moved the United States and China a big step closer to a new Cold War. It has strengthened hardliners in both countries, and political pressures stemming from the pandemic are making it harder for leaders to back away from escalation. For 2 straight months, as the virus killed thousands and wreaked economic havoc around the world, officials of the two superpowers have heaped blame on each other to divert tension away from the pain of the crisis. And administration officials have quietly pressed for international censor of China's responsibility in the health crisis. and they have seized on the medical emergency to attack the network of manufacturing and other economic ties that have grown between the two countries over the last 40 years. Beijing, through its state-owned media and political operatives, have slammed the racist and xenophobic statements and actions of America's irresponsible and incompetent political elites. It has gone so far as to spin allegations that the American military started the epidemic. Meanwhile, the tariffs that Trump imposed on billions of dollars in goods from China and the counter tariffs from Beijing remain in place, and the punitive duties also have affected badly needed protective medical gear such as face masks, gloves, and goggles, many of which are made in China. Susan Shirk, chair of the 21st Century China Center at UC San Diego, stated that it was revealing of just how hostile U.S. and China relations have become that they couldn't even bring themselves to just kind of hold their noses and reach out to one another to coordinate their efforts. But as the U.S. death tolls mount and the economic pain hits more Americans, the pressure on the president has risen. Jude Blanchett, the Freeman Chair in China Studies at the Center for Strategic and International Studies, stated that in the case where we're dealing with a global and domestic recession, it will undoubtedly seed voices of populism and nationalism and xenophobia, and they will be looking for vengeance and for someone to blame. But also contributing to the growing disenchantment with China has been Beijing's continued crackdowns on dissent and human rights, and its aggressive military moves in the South China Sea, and also with Taiwan. Now, in the meantime, President Trump has stated that he has a great relationship with the President of China. But there are many politicians out there right now in the United States that wants China to pay in some way for this pandemic, due to the fact, as it was reported, that China didn't let the United States know in advance of this pandemic that has caused many deaths here in the United States, and not just here in the United States, but around the world. And secondly, the economic turmoil that has occurred all around the world. So we shall definitely wait to see what happens. And in the meantime, Saudi Arabia has been very busy, as they have almost completed their first nuclear reactor site.
Boom! ISHMAEL has a missile, man. It is a lap. You see, it is a lap, man.
According to satellite images, new satellite images first published by Bloomberg show construction on the building site that has made significant progress over the past 3 months. These images show the rapid developments on the site between April 2017 and today. The images show the construction of a 10-meter high steel vessel which would contain nuclear fuel, and construction work on the surrounding concrete building. In a statement,
while everybody is very busy on the coronavirus, man, ISHMAEL has the missiles, man. Kal halali haba Hashem ya Shaiba Hashem Lakakadash Barakatam. You see? So while everybody is running, buying sanitizer, toilet paper, buying the Bible, because now the store for Bible are being emptied. You see? And I was watching another video, man. Jake in Brazil, Asheri, man. Asheri was praying the Lord, man. See, calling on the Lord, calling on this idol, man. You know this, the natives, the Northern Kingdom, man. They are very heavy in idol, in idolatry, man. They were calling on the see, Jesus on the Lord, man, lifting up their voice, weeping. In the meantime, ISHMAEL has a nuke. You see, the dragon of Arabia, because we know the cascade which will bring about WW3. It's like this, you know, the ritual of the frog, which is talking about Amalek, and Amalek, it involves both the Turkish people and the same Jews over there, or Gatarat over there in Israel. Those are the ritual of the frog. They will draw who? Esau, man. Where? To the Middle East. You see? That is happening in front of your eyes, man. And if we go to the Apocrypha, 2nd Ezra 15, on down there is a verse which tells you as a dragon of Arabia will come having great wrath. So that will happen back to back, man. See, Esau being drawn over there, Ishmael coming, having that great trust, and you see now Ishmael has a nuke, man. So nobody will tell him nothing, man. And here you have Saudi Arabia didn't go against the US because they didn't have the nuke, man. Wait until they have those nuke, man. First and foremost, the first thing to crash will be the US dollar. And right now, there is something going on, man. People are not talking about that. The war between Russia and Saudi Arabia about crude oil, and that's what is crashing the price of crude oil. And America is very mad. Some people say that Russia and Saudi Arabia in cahoots. Remember last year when Putin went to Saudi Arabia and he was in White House. What do you think they discussed, man? To crash the dollar, man. And that's why Saudi Arabia is pushing for nuclear reactor, man, to get away from the clutch of Esau Edom. The harm of the earth, man. The harm of the earth, man. You see, hey, man. The Lord is taking this bully out of the way, man. Lady Liberty, who thought that he's not a widow, he's tender and delicate. The scripture tell you he will be beaten with many stripes, man. And as always, man, as always, you know the Lord, he get down because he's a really man, man. He telling you none of his love will want him, man, because the Lord is a real man, man. The Lord is a jerk, man. Back in the day when we were in our proper mind, nobody in our nation wanted a whore, man. A whore for a wife. You see, a whore for a wife. Nobody wants that, man. So the Lord was trying to be poetic to explain for you what will happen to this whore and known as the America of Babylon, man. And nobody will want her, man. And his biggest lover, Saudi Arabia, man, he's starting to go his own way. He's starting to be a migtail, if you will, forsaking the whole, man. Let's continue.
To Bloomberg, Saudi Arabia's energy ministry said its purpose was to engage in strictly peaceful, scientific research, educational, and training activities in the full compliance with international agreements. It also said that the reactor was being built with transparency and was open to visitors, and that the kingdom has signed all international non-proliferation treaties. Robert Kelly, a nuclear expert and veteran of the U.S. Department of Energy, said that the reactor could be completed in 9 months to a year. He said that the construction appears to be in small size and intended for research and training purposes. Mr. Kelly also said that before the kingdom can insert nuclear fuel into the reactor, it would have to abide by international agreements. Mr. Kelly had also stated that it had been surprising to him how non-transparent the kingdom had been in the process of building the reactor, and how they seem very cavalier about modifying their arrangements with the IAEA. However, once nuclear fuel was brought into the country to operate this small reactor, inspections by the IAEA would be required, according to Mr. Kelly. It's simply that they're crossing a threshold in terms of the requirement. In the meantime, there are suspicions over Saudi Arabia's nuclear aims. Saudi Arabia apparently announced its nuclear ambitions 9 years ago, and the world's top oil exporter laid out plans in its Vision of 23 campaign to diversify its energy mix. But the United States is concerned that the nuclear technology could have potential for military uses. But the Crown Prince insists its plans are...
You see, this Crown Prince, man, this is a bad dude, man. You remember Khashoggi? Khashoggi was slaughtered, and his body was dismembered, man. And this Crown Prince, I don't know his name, if it is Suleiman, something like that. He calls a shot, man. He want to go his own way, man, aka Migtail, from the whore. You see? So if Ishmael got the missile, man, it is a lap, man. So it's a lap.
Peaceful, but he did say that the kingdom would develop nuclear arms if Iran did. He said Saudi Arabia does not want to acquire any nuclear bomb, but without a doubt, if Iran developed a
Sure, they don't want, but the Lord wants them to have nukes, man. It's all the will of Yahweh Hashem Yahshai.
nuclear bomb, we will follow suit as soon as possible. And on top of all of this, the kingdom has previously pushed back against agreeing to U.S. standards that would block two paths to potentially making fissile material for nuclear weapons. And last Friday, U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo was adamant that it was unacceptable for Saudi Arabia to become a nuclear power. He said, "We will not permit that to happen anywhere in the world. The president understands the threat of proliferation. We will never write a $150 million check to the Saudis and hand them over to the capacity to threaten Israel and the United States with nuclear weapons. Never. Those are definitely some serious words coming out of the United States, as well as Saudi Arabia. And we know that although Iran denies it, they are working towards a nuclear weapon. So I can assume, and I could be wrong, but this could be in the future for Saudi Arabia as well. But as always, I'll continue to follow these reports and bring you updates. But let's move on and talk about what's happening with the coronavirus pandemic.
So that's it, man. Sure, there is a lot of video about the coronavirus. So let's go and get the scripture. So this is the book of Genesis 16. The book of Genesis 16 verse 11. And the angel of the Lord Yahweh said unto her, Behold, thou art with child, and shall be a son, and shall call his name Ishmael, because the Lord Yahweh has heard thy affliction, and he will be a wild man. That's the point. And what happens if we give a big sword to a wild man? He will use it to slash everybody. You see? And does a wild man have really friend? No. Really, Ishmael is not a friend of America. It just happened to be that way because America have something which Saudi Arabia didn't have, and that thing is a nuke, man. You see, a nuclear missile. That's the reason behind, man. That's why Saudi Arabia, they were acting like a little lamb, doing whatever America tells them to do. But when they have really power, which is nuclear missiles, they won't do that again. That's why the kings of Egypt and the noble, or the Chaldean, aka peoples like Mikey Pompeo and the others, they are very concerned, man. See, they are very concerned, man, because they know Ishmael, man. Esau, he studies the nature of people, man. That's why he's using to control the narrative. You see, so to speak, Esau know how to bend like a bamboo. He know how to use people's emotions. So he used the Ishmael to accomplish his war in terror. But really, if you take a step back and look, the really terrorist is Esau, man. He just used the Ishmael, man, to his advantage. So verse 12 again, and he will be a wild man, his hand will be against every man, and every man hand against him, and he shall dwell in the presence of all his brethren. That's what is going on, man. So from there, we know now Ishmael is a wild man. So let's go to the Apocrypha. See, the Apocrypha. Let's go second book of Ezra 15. See, and verse. Let me see. And verse 28. It started at verse 28. It say, "Behold, an horrible vision in the appearance is therefore from the east." So the east is where Ezra saw this vision. So this was really talking about the kings of the east. You see, but even in the valley of Yehoshaphat, it is still the east. You see, verse 29, whereas the nation of the dragon of Arabia shall come out with many chariots. And that word chariot there is symbolic for any weapon which is used in war. So you need to think presently, man. What weapon do we have? Nuclear war, a nuclear warhead, a nuclear weapon. And the multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon the earth, that all they which hear them may fear and tremble. See? So what weapon will be used for the people in this whole race to tremble, man? A nuclear weapon. Because if ISHMAEL decided to fight, let's say Saudi Arabia with Iran, nobody will tremble because those kind of war have been going on since 2000, man. Why there will be a tremble? Because a new weapon will be used, man. Nuclear missile. You see, as the Camanian raging lust shall go forth as the wild boar of the wood, and with great power shall they come and join battle with them, and they shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyria. So this is like a series, man. Like a cascade, you see, or a series of events. First and foremost is the litter of the flock, which is Gatarat will draw Babylon over there in the Middle East. That is going on. You see, Babylon is this Edomite. You see, the litter of their flock. That's talking about the house of Esau. So, who is the litter in the house of Esau? Amalek. Amalek will draw the rest of the Edomite over there in the Middle East. Another event which will happen is the dragon of Arabia will be stirred up, man, and it will respond. See, because when this Edomite go over there in the Middle East, what happened? Oppression, man. At the end of the day, ISHMAEL will get tired, man, of oppression. That includes Saudi Arabia. See, and the dragon of Arabia will really get the upper hand when this other nation come to its aid. And then shall the dragon have an upper hand, remembering their nature. What nature, man? Being wild. So that is ISHMAEL, man. And this is another proof that this scripture, they live. It is a spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. And if they shall turn themselves conspiring together, you see, that now the whole thinks that Saudi Arabia is still her lover and whatnot, and this other country like Kuwait, Qatar, Oman, and Iraq, they whole think that they are together, man. But the scripture tell you conspiring together with all the Arabian nation, man, in great power to persecute them. Persecute who? Esau, man. Then this shall be trouble and keep silence through their power and shall flee. And from the land of Assyria shall the enemy besiege them. So this war will be an inside out, man. And they consume some of them. Remember, Iran have 3% in America. So all hell will be breaking loose, man. And their host shall be fear and dread and strife among their king. Behold, the crowd from the east and from the north unto the south, and they are very horrible to look, full, wrath, and a storm. So what you saw is the coronavirus is paving a new way to a cold war. The king of East, mainly China, against Babylon, man. They shall smite one upon another, they shall smite down a great multitude of stars upon the earth, even their own star, and the blood shall be from the throat unto the belly. So from there, let's go to the book. Wait a minute. The book of Ezekiel. The book of Ezekiel. So this is Ezekiel 38:1. And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, came to me who? The prophet, man, which have been out of there since the time of Rabbi Abaviven. Son of man, set thy face against Gog and the land of Magog, chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesied against him. So this is Russia and his band, his alliance, and say, thus says the Lord Yahweh, behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal. When it says the chief prince, what does it mean? It simply means that this Gog and Magog, he will be he will lead this pact, or this block of this axis, because in every major war you have axis, you have pact, you have blocks, or you have alliance to put it plain. And I will turn thee back and put hook in thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth, and all thy army, horse and horsemen, all of them clothed with sword armor, and every great company with buckler, shield, and all them handling swords. Right? So everybody who is mentioned in this pact, or in this axis, or in this alliance will have a sword. And what does the sword symbolize, man? The sword symbolizes the missiles, man. Let's get that. Let's get that from the book of Deuteronomy 32, starting at verse, let's see, at verse 41. It say, Deuteronomy 32 and 41, if I whet my glittering sword in my hand and take hold on judgment, I will render vengeance to my enemy, and will reward them that hate me. I will make my arrow drunk with blood, and my sword shall devour flesh. So the word arrow, glittering spear, glittering sword is synonymous to these nuclear missiles, man. And that with the blood of the slain and was a captive from the beginning of revenge upon my enemy. So the Lord is about to revenge upon his enemy, man. That's why he is putting a hook in the jaw of this alliance, man, mainly Russia. You see, the scripture tell you with buckler, shield, and all of them handling sword. So everybody in this alliance at the end of the day will have missile. You see, or some sort of a dangerous weapon. Persia, Ethiopia, Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet. In this alliance, you should add ISHMAEL, because ISHMAEL will be on the side of Russia. See, precept must be upon precept. Gomer and all his band is the house of Togoma of the north quarter, and all his band, many people with thee. Be so prepared and prepare for thyself. Like yesterday, I was going to a dream I had. You see, and that video is blocked me. They sent me a message that they have blocked that video in some country. I don't know if you can see it in America. I was going to the history for WW3, and in that I brought a dream I had the day before yesterday about how Russia is preparing himself, man. The Lord showed me the myths of Russia, man. They are preparing for this shit, man. Here you have Babylon playing games, trying to mine precious metal from asteroid and the moon, man. These people are not even serious, man, playing game. That's why the Lord have it. America will be trapped in your side, man. They will be in straight, man. See, so all thy camp that are assembled unto thee, be thou a guardian to them. So Russia will be a guardian to all of this nation. And to be sure, because America don't want Saudi Arabia to have those nuclear reactors. So my question to you is, where did Saudi Arabia get those nuclear reactors? I'm sure it is Russia. That's why right now they are conspiring together, man, to bring the US dollar down. See, you see. So let's grab another scripture, man. Let's go to the book of Psalm 91. You see, the book of Psalm 91, verse 3. Surely he shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler, and from the noises of pestilence. What kind of pestilence make noise, man? So this was talking about really, you see, the missiles, man. This was talking about the missiles, man. So again, let's go to Revelation 18. I will be jumping. I will be jumping around. You see, So this is Revelation 18 and verse 1. And after these things I saw another angel came down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was enlightened with his glory. See? And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every false spirit, and the cage of every unclean and hateful bird. So this was a vision of the Apostle John when he was over there in the island of Patmos, man, as a mining salt. He saw in Revelation 17 the hate of America, but in Revelation 18 he saw America falling down. You see, and how did the America fall down? Let's continue reading, man. We see. Verse 7. How much she has glorified herself when I lived delicious. You have seen that. You are a witness to that. How these people in America were living delicious, especially the elite. This senator, a celebrity. You see, they didn't have a care of the world, man. To give you a short example, you have Floyd Mayweather, man. The brothers who came well into this truth, they know Floyd Mayweather. He know he's in Israel for 10 fucking years right now, and he didn't do anything. He didn't declare. He didn't declare the Lord. You see, so he was hiding, man. He denied the Lord, to put it simple. So these people are living delicious, thinking that America will continue another 400 years. Their kids will live delicious, man. But what happened, man? Only the COVID-19, which is not even closer to a really plague, man, cheering everybody hope us up, man. You see, that's what the scripture tell you, live delicious. So much torment and sorrow give her, for she says in her heart, I sit a queen, and I am no widow, and I shall see no sorrow. So right now we are seeing this as a nation like Saudi Arabia. They are going their own way. Men going their own way. Military. See, this other nation are likened into lovers to America. So he is a lady, a queen, sitting in a throne, having many lovers, man. Committing fornication is just different philosophy, man. You see, right now when you go to Saudi Arabia over there, you have casinos, man. That is wine, man. And that is an influence from America. So right now his love are going military. Every love is going military. Verse 8, therefore shall her plague come in one day, death and mourning and famine. She shall be utterly burned with fire, for strong is the Lord Yahweh who judges her. So this judgment, it will be a calculated move from our Lord. And nobody will say it happened because every few years we have a world war, whatever. So it is just happened like that. It is Mother Nature. It happened like that every few years. No. Like now people are saying that every like a century you have a plague. So they are saying the COVID-19 is a plague. No, the COVID-19 is not nearly to the plague which are coming upon this earth, man. You see? And as a king of the earth who have committed fornication and lived delicious, here you go, with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her torment or her burning. Where will this smoke come, man? This is not talking about a meteor shower or a meteorite hitting America. This is talking about the nuclear missiles, man. That's why I started with a news so that you can believe. You know why we get your news? Because Jake is hard-headed, man. Unless you show him proof, he won't believe. So I started with a news. Saudi Arabia having them nuke, man. And that's what they will burn her with. You see, standing afar off, the fear of atonement, saying, alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. So many people think that WW3 will be just 1 hour, man. No. WW3 will be going for some time, but the destruction of America will come in 1 hour. When this nation get tired and a new car off, man. And the merchant of the earth shall weep and mourn over her. Who do merchandise with America, man? ISHMAEL. See? For no man buys her merchandise anymore. You see? Let's continue. Verse 17, for in 1 hour so great riches come to naught, and every shipmaster and all the company in ship and sailor, and as many as trade by sea stood afar. So this is not talking about a religion. This is talking about a country which have what we call maritime activities. They have navies. They do merchandise by way of trafficking. You call it by the way of the sea, like the day of the old. Going back into the Canaanite. If we look that way, the Canaanite, it is there is a definition which goes to merchant. That's why America is likened into Tyre and Zidon, the Hamite nation, because of what? Because America was built on merchandise. See? So this is not talking about the Vatican or whatever. And they cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what seat is like unto this great seat? And they cast dust on their head, and they cried, weeping and wailing, saying, alas, alas. So when people see again this, they say Esau is not the white man, because they don't have the tradition to cast dust on their head. This is symbolic for mourning, man. You see, that great city where were made rich, all that had ship in the sea by reason of her costliness. For in 1 hour is he made desolate. For his judgment will be just 1 hour. See. So continuing to 2nd Ezra 15, you see, I was speaking about America or Babylon, saying that he is not a widow going to she have many lovers. He have these countries. You know, when you go, you talk about economy. Russia, China, Saudi Arabia, they use it to buy the American debit to bail them off. So those are his lover. But the scripture tell you what? Back to 2nd Ezra 15. We left 2nd Ezra 15. I will finish there. 2nd Ezra 15, verse 49. It say, I will send a plague upon thee, widowhood. You see, widowhood. What does that mean? It simply means this nation who helped her will leave her, including Saudi Arabia, poverty, famine, sword, and pestilence, to waste thy house with destruction and death. You see, verse 51. Thou shalt be weakened as a poor woman with stripes. Going back to Isaiah, when America says that, oh Babylon, sitting over there like a tender and delicate woman, you see. But this tender and delicate woman, okay, Babylon will be beaten with many stripes. Let me repeat. Thou shalt be weakened as a poor woman with a stripe. Man. Going back to plague. And as one chastened with wound, so that the might and the love shall not be able to receive his love as this other country, including the European Union and the NATO country. So with that, I hope you brothers were edified, giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Wakah, HaKadash, and the honor to the elder and apostle of Wisdom, who do well, who taught us this 100% truth, peace, blessing, protection to you, who are pushing this truth to the four winds of the heaven, and being on the forefront of this spiritual war. I hope you were edified. On to the next, and shalom.